What does this month's big idea of kindness have to do with the jar? A 3-pound jar of Skittles. Stick around right here on Thinking Big to find out. This month's big idea is kindness, and kindness is showing others they're valuable by how you treat them. Now, I know we're not able to necessarily have a live audience, but wherever you're watching from, whether it's at home, in a school classroom, in a school lunchroom, wherever it might be, could you just repeat this definition after me? Kindness, showing others they're valuable by how you treat them. It's such an awesome big idea, but what does it really look like to put the big idea of kindness into practice? Well, today we have a really fun experiment that I think would be fun for you guys to do at home or in a classroom, and we think it really showcases the big idea of kindness. And the even better part is you'll actually learn some fun candy trivia first. These, as I said earlier, are a 3-pound jar of Skittles. Now, there's a lot of Skittles in here, and as you know, there's a lot of different colors. You got green, you have orange, and purple, and red, and yellow. But you know what's something that is interesting about Skittles? Is they're not actually flavored any differently. Isn't that interesting? In fact, if you were to open one of these Skittles up and look closely, what starts as this actually is the same thing when you get past the outside look of it. It's true. All the Skittles taste the exact same. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe you're thinking, okay, wait a second, Jesse. I've had Skittles. I love Skittles. And I know they don't taste the same. But what's fascinating to Mr. Jesse is that is actually your brain doing most of the work. In fact, the makers of Skittles found out that it was way cheaper for them to make a candy that has the same flavor, and then what they do is they divide them up, they color them with different colors, and then they actually add different scents. And the different color and the different scent makes you think that it has a different taste. But like I said, if you dig past the outside appearance, the inside of the Skittle is the same for every single one. It doesn't matter if it's red or purple or yellow or orange or green. They all are the exact same on the inside. And I think that actually has a really valuable lesson for us. It has a valuable lesson when it comes to the big idea of kindness. You know, we live in a world that everyone has an opinion, and because of social media and the internet, and the great thing, a lot of people can share their opinions. But one thing that has become very apparent in that world that we live in is that everybody has a lot of differences. What some people think isn't what other people think. And what some people like is what other people can't stand. And so what's interesting about that is because there are differences, sometimes it can lead to unkindness. And we see this a lot of times online, but you might see it on the playground or in the classroom too. When someone is different from you, it's hard for you to practice kindness, but it's because we're missing something. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an experiment that I think is going to show us just how important kindness is. And it's going to take a little bit of time. So what you're going to want is a clear plate and some warm, not necessarily hot, but warm water. Let me do you a favor and give you a little kindness on our end. We tried this several different times, and the best way that we found was if the center of whatever your plate is could be sloped in a little bit, okay? You just don't want to bulge up in the middle. And what you'll do is you'll put this plate down, get your warm water handy, and then take your Skittles and arrange them on the plate in a way that it showcases all the different colors that you have in your pack of Skittles. Okay, once you do that, you're just going to add water to the center of the plate, and watch what happens when water expands out and reaches the edges of the Skittles. Wasn't that amazing? It's so cool how all those different colors seep into the middle and create something beautiful. That's what kindness is all about. You know, there's a famous playwright and author, and he published a lot of books like early in the 1900s. His name was Oscar Wilde. And back then, Oscar Wilde said this. He said, nowadays, people know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. Now, I don't know exactly in which Oscar was, what part of his life he was talking about. But when I read that quote, I think of the world that we live in. So often these different opinions that people have and the differences that we have with one another, we can use those as excuses to be unkind. But remember, kindness is showing others they're valuable by how you treat them. I mean, it's just like the inside of a Skittle. At the end of the day, they're all the same. And the truth is, it's the same thing for us. At the end of the day, no matter what differences you have with the person that sits behind you on Classroom or the person that sits on the other side of the screen on the internet, no matter what your differences are, each and every one of you is valuable. Everyone has value. So the way we treat them shows them that we see how valuable they really are. And it doesn't matter if they're different from you or if they don't agree with you on everything. That's okay. You don't have to agree on anything to be kind to one another. Kindness is showing others they're valuable simply by how we talk with them, how we treat them. And keep in mind, this doesn't mean that you have to agree on everything. People are naturally going to have disagreements. People are naturally going to have different opinions, and that's okay. But when your whole school or when the whole world is captivated by this idea that we can be kind to each other, and more importantly, when the whole world understands that everyone, every single person has natural value in themselves. They just are valuable because they exist. That gives them value. Now, once everybody understands that, that's a powerful concept. That's a concept that can change the world. So, we think if you put the big idea into practice, that is thinking big. We thought we would think big as well and go big with our experiment. That's why we put down 1,045 Skittles. 44 Skittles. And we want you to see just how cool it looks. Check this out.